First, let's download and install Haxe. Like with ActionScript, I'm assuming you to have a beginner to intermediate level understanding of Haxe. If you are new to Haxe, no problem, you can still follow along. Though, there may be parts where you'll want to take a closer look or do a bit of extra reading to fully grasp what's happening. Next, open Command Prompt and type haxlib. The installation was successful, as we can see the available haxlib commands listed here. Next, let's set up haxlib. It will ask for a directory, where it should store all downloaded libraries. Let's press Enter and accept the default location. Next, let's install Haxe libraries we need for our project. The first one is OpenFL. Let's copy this command and paste it here. We can use the terminal even from within VS Code. There's no problem with that. Next, we have to run OpenFL setup. So let's copy this command. Seems like this installation is going to take a little while. So in the meantime, let me show you the extensions that we need to install in VS Code for the Haxe project. One is Haxe language support. The other one is Haxe extension pack. And the final one is Haxe blocks. Seems like we need to update haxlib. So let's do that. Now just type OpenFL to check if everything was installed and set up correctly. Yep, so that's done for now. Now we need to restart VS Code once. But before that, let's install one more extension called Lime, which provides project support for OpenFL. Now let's restart. Next, we need to install the Starling haxlib. After that, let's install Feathers UI. Next, let's install AS3HX. Oops, there is a typo. This library is required for converting our AS3 code to Haxe. And let's straight away convert our AS3 project to Haxe. For that, we need to run the command haxlib run AS3HX. Then, we should mention the path to our AS3 source folder, which will be the path to the src folder. Let's copy it and paste it here. Next, we need to mention the path of the source folder of our Haxe project. For that, we need to first create a Haxe project for it. So, open the command prompt. We will be adding the Haxe project folder to the desktop itself. If you want, you can change it to a different location. And let's use the command OpenFL, create Starling, :project, and name the project TurboShift-Haxe. Next, let's change the directory to it, and open this folder in VS Code Editor. Now, we need to change the folder name, so let's rename this to src. And let's copy its path and paste it here and press Enter. The conversion is now complete. Keep in mind that this process does not provide a complete conversion, and a considerable amount of manual code changes will be required to compile a build. Next, let's check the VS Code window of our Haxe project to see the converted files. Next, let's install a couple more Haxe libraries. The first one is Format, and the second one is msignal. So we have now installed a bunch of Haxe libraries on our machine. But what if we have to add a new feature to one of them, or maybe we run into a bug that needs fixing, or handle some compatibility issues? Do we really have to sit around and wait for the library maintainers to release an update? The answer is a big no. In such situations, we can simply use the development folder instead. That is, instead of using the package version from Haxelib, we download a local copy of the library's source code onto our machine and use it directly as the development folder. Since most Haxe libraries are open source, getting their source code is really easy. Once we have it, we are free to tweak the code however we like. Whether that's adding new features, patching bugs, or making it work with the latest versions without waiting for anyone else. So yes, for this project to work in Haxe, we'll need to make some changes in libraries like OpenFL, Starling, and Feathers UI. Don't worry, I've already made those changes and have shared the updated source code in my GitHub page. All you have to do is download those libraries from there and then link them to your project as development folders. Once that's done, your project will start using these modified versions instead of the default ones from Haxelib. So let's go ahead and download them one by one. First, let's download Feathers UI. Before we extract anything, let's first create a folder on our machine where we can store all the Haxe library source code. Now, simply extract it to that folder. Wait a minute, let's rename it to HaxDevLibs. Now, let's copy its path. And back in VS Code, let's use the command haxlib dev, then name of the haxlib. In this case, it's Feathers UI-Starling. And then paste the path to its development folder and press enter. And we should get a message like development directory set to, the path that we just copy-pasted. Now, let's do the same thing for Starling. This folder name is unnecessarily long and confusing. Let's simplify it to Starling Haxe main. Let's copy this link. And name of the haxlib is Starling. Done. Next, let's do the same for OpenFL. So that's done as well. Next, we need to set up the project XML. As we're only targeting HTML5 with this project, I've already prepared an XML file specifically for that. And let me copy and paste it here so that we can get everything set up quickly. Now, let's take a quick look at it. If you go through this XML, you'll see it contains all our project-related settings. First, we have the title, package, version number, etc. mentioned. Then, we have mentioned the main class, the output path, and the file name. After that, we have the window settings. Then we have mentioned the source paths, SRC, and code. Next, we have listed all the Haxe libs we will be using in this project. And finally, we have specified all the asset paths. One important thing to note, we will be using the exact same assets from our ActionScript project here as well, so no changes required there. So let's copy the asset folder from the ActionScript project to the Haxe project folder. Similarly, we also need to add a code folder here. Later, we will be adding the Haxe code for Starling Builder and the SoundAS library into it. That's it. Our project XML is ready. And we need to restart VS Code now. Wait. We have to rename the main class here to TurboShift. All right, everything looks good, so let's go ahead and restart VS Code. We can see here, all the dependencies are properly mentioned. Of course, there will still be a lot of errors, and we will need to fix them one by one. Let's start by replacing all the Flash imports with OpenFL. We can see some errors related to Starling Builder. So let's add it to our project, and hopefully those errors will disappear. Now, extract it to a folder. From its SRC folder, let's copy this folder and add it to the code folder. Back to VS Code. Next, let's remove this metadata, as we have already mentioned the same in our project XML. Starling Builder related errors are still showing up, right? Also, there are errors related to feathers, which is strange. Oh yeah, that's because in ActionScript, we only have one version of Feathers UI, the Starling version. However, in Haxe, we have two options, the Starling version and the OpenFL version. For this project, we will be using the Starling version. So yeah, we need to replace all Feathers imports with feathers.starling. Also, we have not added the sound library to our project yet. That's why there are errors related to it as well. Let's try restarting the Haxe language server once and see if the errors get updated. Yeah, now we only have feathers and sound library related errors. So let's go ahead and add the sound library to our project first. So, SoundAS in Haxe becomes SoundHX. Let's keep a note of that, as we might need to change this in our code as well. From its SRC folder, let's copy this folder and add it to the code folder. Let's try restarting the Haxe language server again. Oh, forgot to replace feathers imports. Let's do that now. Before we restart the language server again, let's fix the other issues in the game class. This should be std.int. That's how we parse a float to integer in Haxe. We don't need the try-catch here. Now, let's check the lobby class once. Now here's something important to understand. In ActionScript, we use dictionary to store key-value pairs. However, in Haxe, the equivalent is called map, but there's a key difference. Haxe is strongly typed, which means we need to specify exactly what types of data our map will store. So instead of just dictionary, we write map, then opening angle bracket, display object, comma, dynamic, then closing angle bracket. This tells Haxe that keys will be display object types and values can be any type. If you are new to Haxe, these angle brackets are called generics or type parameters. And the dynamic type is Haxe's way of saying this could be anything. Yeah, there's an issue in our main class, which we will fix next. But before that, let's restart the Haxe language server once. Yeah, we cannot use _root as a custom property name because the Haxe compiler uses it to refer to the root package. So let's rename it to something else like _root_ class to avoid this conflict. We've also referenced TurboShift.root throughout the project, and now we need to replace it all with TurboShift.root_ class. Let's restart the language server again. Next, we need to add Stardust Particles library to our project. Open the source folder, and let's copy these 3 folders and add them to the code folder. Again, we have to restart the language server. Here's another difference. In ActionScript, we could directly use starling.juggler, but in Haxe, we need to use starling.current.juggler. This is because Haxe version of Starling requires us to be more explicit about which Starling instance we're working with. So, we have to replace all instances of starling.juggler with starling.current.juggler. By now, you might be wondering why we have to restart the Haxe language server after each fix. That's because the language server sometimes doesn't automatically pick up all the changes we make, especially when we're doing bulk replacements or changing imports. By restarting it, we force it to reanalyze the entire project and give us updated error information. It's a bit of extra work, but it ensures we're seeing accurate errors rather than stale ones from before our fixes. Next, let's check the lobby class for errors. Here we're getting an error that says arrays of mixed types are only allowed if the type is forced to an array of type dynamic. In ActionScript, we could just pass an array and it would work fine. But Haxe is more strict about types and wants to know exactly what type of array we're passing. So let's add a type annotation. This will explicitly tell Haxe to treat this as an array of type dynamic. Our next error is missing super constructor call in player car class. You know what? Our player car class actually doesn't need a constructor, and we can safely remove it. But if you want to know how to fix this error instead, just add a super call inside the constructor. Next, we have an error with some parsing-related issue in the race class. Here, we actually don't require a parsing, and we can remove it if you want. But to show you how to fix it, just use std.int. Next, we have some issue in the game class. That's odd. There should not be any reference to OpenFL error in the game class. Seems like there is a reference to OpenFL error. Let's find out where. It's showing for Asset Manager's load queue function, but why? Let's once remove this reference to OpenFL error and see where exactly it props up. There you go. This parameter should be of type string instead of type OpenFL error, same like ActionScript. Actually, there was no need for this conversion in Haxe. It's just one more example of why AS3HX is not perfect and needs manual intervention after the conversion process. Looks like all these remaining errors are just ripple effects from what we already fixed. So let's just ignore them for now and give the Haxe language server another restart. Perfect. No more errors. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Alright, now let's see if our game actually builds. Jump into the terminal window and let's run the command OpenFL test HTML5. We have some issues in the leaderboard item renderer class. Let's check that out. Always remember, Haxe is much more strict about type conversions than ActionScript. So, if we want to display a number as text, we need to explicitly tell Haxe to convert it using std.string. Here's a pro tip. If you want to avoid these conversion errors in the future, it's good practice to write your ActionScript code with strict typing from the start. Now, let's start debugging. Since we're debugging for the first time, we have to select a debugger. For HTML5 targets, we have to use Lime. And the launch.json file just got updated with that configuration. So from here on, every time we start debugging this project, VS Code will always use the Lime debugger. Now, we've tested the game thoroughly, there are no more bugs, and everything is working perfectly. So, we're all set to publish the game. First, we need to create a release build. For that, we have to use the command OpenFL build HTML5 -minify -terser. Please note that we are using minify and terser flags to optimize our game for web browsers as they compress and shrink the code size by removing unnecessary parts and making it load much faster for the players. Great! Our release build is now ready. Next, let's go to our project folder. We have set bin folder as the output path in our project XML. So let's open the bin folder, then the HTML5 folder, and again the bin folder. Now, we need to package all these files for distribution. So let's first select them all and then create a zip file. This will make it easy to upload to platforms like itch.io. Next, let's head over to itch.io and publish our game there. This is my itch.io account. If you don't have one, you'll need to create a new account. Head over to the dashboard and then click on Create New Project. Let's give it a title. And upload a cover image. Let's use the app icon itself. Next, in the kind of project, we have to select the HTML one. Pricing, let's leave it as it is. Now, here we have to upload the zip file we just created. And then select the option. This file will be played in the browser. Now, here we have to set the viewport dimensions. Frame options. Yes, it's mobile friendly. Orientation, portrait. Then, automatically start on page load. Then, genre. Let's select racing. No generative AI content in it. And that's it. Now, let's save and view the page. Hey, where's the full screen button? Let's go back once and check the settings. Oh, in the frame options, we need to select full screen button. Now save, and then view page. Now, let's try with a smaller viewport dimension. Yes, let's go with this size. Much better, right? Now, let's make it public and then save. Congratulations! Our game is now live. Let's try loading it in a different browser. And that's it, we're finally done. I know this was quite a marathon, 6 hours, but I hope you'll agree it was a valuable 6 hours well spent. What started as a Flash ActionScript project is now a modern HTML5 game, published and ready for the world. If you think this tutorial helped you modernize your ActionScript development workflow, please give it a thumbs up. Also, share it with other developers who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials like this. I'll see you again with a new tutorial soon. Thanks for watching and happy coding!